Hey everybody, thanks for tuning in for another video here on Keep Running with BK. And in today's video, I don't have a whole lot of personal running information to share with you, as I'm kind of enjoying a couple of weeks here of fairly casual, unstructured running as I'm sorting out what I want to kind of focus on this coming late fall, early winter, as I go into off season and doing some maintenance work and what that maintenance work will actually look like. But I do want to share with you some brief updates today regarding the channel, as well as I want to share a video with you of my attempt to change the battery in my heart rate monitor chest strap, see how easy it is, and possibly save myself and perhaps you someday some money should you run into the same issue that I have. So let's stay tuned. We'll be right back right after this. So in my last video, I did kind of a short subscriber appreciation video, hitting a milestone of 50 videos, over 300 subscribers. And again, just another to reiterate, thanks to all of you that tune in and check out the channel every week, as I do my best to share with you running insights, training tips, motivational ideas, just to really help all of us to continue to learn, improve, and to keep running. And if you're new here, I am a 50-year-old age group runner who's been running for nearly 40 years now. And I started this channel about 10 months ago to, again, share from my own personal running experience, inspired from watching other YouTube channels on running during the pandemic. And I was learning and almost relearning and reinventing myself yet again in this long lifetime running journey, and thought I would start my own channel just to share some ideas here. And my hope really is to share with you just things that I've learned over my own running experience, offer some training tips, share things that I'm learning as I'm in a new season of life and in a, closing out my 4th decade as a runner. And there's always new things to learn, and I'm always excited to share the things that I'm learning with others. And I want to engage you in the dialogue, and that's why last week during the subscriber appreciation video, I asked for you to comment in the comment section below just what topics would you like to hear more about, or what questions about running do you have. And I've started to get some really good ideas for the channel, some really good ideas for topics that I'm going to start working on here for the upcoming weeks. And some of those things I'll actually share, especially when it's related to ideas I have for the channel going into its 2nd year. I'll probably share come the new year, so stay tuned for those. And if you haven't subscribed yet and you'd like to follow along with the channel and see what kind of future ideas, content that we have, consider subscribing below. And there's still time, so if you have ideas or you have questions, you can go back to last week's video. I'll put a link to it up above if you want to go back there and watch that video and those ideas. You can share your comments there, or as always, you can just share in the comment section for this current video, and I'll consider that. And for those of you that have shared, I appreciate it. Great stuff. Some really good ideas there, so I've started sketching out some thoughts on those. I have some personal time off from work coming up where I'm going to really be able to focus on some of those ideas and bring to you some content that you've actually asked for. So with that, I don't really have a major topic or focus for this week's video, but I did have a personal thing that came up with my running. As some of you may have noticed if you're following along on my training on Strava, or I've even made a few comments here and there on the channel, that my heart rate has kind of been fluctuating more than normal during some of my runs. I also notice that sometimes it's elevated at levels that just doesn't make sense. I mean, I've been running with a heart rate monitor long enough to know that if my heart rate reading is 160 some beats a minute, I know what that feels like. And when I'm very calm, not breathing heavy, not working hard, and I'm at a very easy, comfortable effort, I know something's off. And so I've done a little investigating, and the most obvious possibility is really what was going on. So the battery in my chest strap actually died. And when I bought it, it said it would last roughly 2 to 3 years. I don't know exactly how they measure that, if that's wearing it once or twice a week, or if you're running 6 days a week like I have been, whether or not that lifespan is actually shortened. So long story short, I probably have about 150 to 200 runs with that chest strap before I realize that the battery has died. I think that's a pretty good lifespan on a single battery, but I don't necessarily want to go out and spend another $100 or so for another chest strap if I can actually change the battery myself. So that was the intent of this video clip that I'm going to share with you now, was to see if I could replace the battery myself and get it to work and back together and all that kind of stuff, and save myself some money. So I thought it was worth a try. It only cost a few dollars to get replacement battery pack, and if with the right tool, I figured I'd give it a shot. So with no further ado, let's take a look at that video and see how it goes. Okay, so I have here my heart rate monitor chest strap, and this is a Garmin chest strap, and this part right here pops off, so you see it kind of snaps on here. So I'm going to set that aside, and then if you look really close, you can kind of see these really small screws here. They have like I thought it was like a little Phillips head groove, but it's actually a star groove. So I have a really small attachment here. It's probably too small to show on the camera, but it's also a star. I don't even know what you call that, but it's a star there. So what I'm going to do is just come here and very carefully loosen and undo the screws. I'll try to keep them in the top part, so when I separate it, they stay in the groove, so I don't have to fish them back in there, because they're pretty small and I don't want them falling all over the place. Okay, so I can see that it's loosened, but it's still catching, so I'll just loosen these just a little bit more. There we go. Alright, I'm going to lift this off. Alright, so we have the battery here. It looks like this is like a rubber or silicone type thing. It's got two little pegs here that kind of helps hold this in place. So I'll gently peel this off. Okay, and I will take this battery. This looks like a 3-volt CR2032 battery. So during my run today, I ran to the store and I picked up some 2032 3 volts. This is a different brand. The original came with a Panasonic. These are Energizer, but this should work. So very careful. Cut to open. All right, but I want to be careful. So I've cut this, I'm going to peel this back. So I got another one here, so I'm going to gently place that in there. And then I will take this rubber like holder or gasket of sorts. I'm not sure exactly what you call it. It looks like I might have cut my finger a little bit on that battery pack. That's wonderful. Alright, Alright, so that's in place, and then I'm going to gently lay this over. Oops, one of the screws popped out. So I'm going to put that there. I'm going to go ahead and tighten this down gently. A little bit on each side to make sure it catches, and I'm not putting one in at a crooked angle or something like that, and stripping the grooves there. Alright, so I'm applying a little bit of pressure to hold this top plastic piece down, because it wants to rise up a little bit and create a little bit of a gap, which puts tension on the screw and the screws and the threads. So then if I take this, I can reattach it to the strap. Alright, so hopefully this now is working. So now what I can do is I can... Alright, heart rate monitor connected, so that means that the battery is working. That's what I was not seeing, but apparently stopped noticing it. I just gotten so used to that doing it, I just started ignoring it. But then I noticed as my heart rate was swinging all over the place that when I was choosing my selection here, run outdoors, I wasn't getting that message that heart rate connected, and so that would have been the indicator that the battery had died and it was no longer communicating. So now it is, so I was able to fix it. So instead of spending another $100 for a new chest strap, I was able to spend about $5-6 for a battery pack, and with the right tool, able to replace that and get some more life out of this chest strap. So there you have it. That's how I fixed my battery. Welcome back. I don't know how practical that video will be for those of you watching this, but who knows, maybe someone will be in a similar situation, will want to know how to do this, and will search on YouTube and find this video, and it'll be helpful to them. Or maybe somewhere down the line you'll run into a similar situation, you'll recall seeing this, and you'll remember to come back here, or you'll do a search and you'll find it and find the timestamp in the show notes below and be able to come here and remind yourself how I did it if you needed that help and solve that. I do apologize, I did not anticipate cutting my finger on the packaging. I cut it right under the cuticle there, above my nail, and I'm still wearing a band-aid. You can even see now it's still kind of bleeding through a little bit. So a minor flesh wound, or a mere flesh wound, and I'm sure that'll heal up just fine. So I apologize for the blood there. That was unintended. I didn't even realize that I was bleeding until halfway in the video, and I didn't want to start over. I don't know how many times you can take the screws out, tighten the screws back down, and maintain the integrity of the waterproof seal, or the seal at all for that matter. But the good news is I got it working. I'm actually getting ready to strap my chest strap on and go for a long run here on a Saturday afternoon as I'm recording this, and get my run in. So thanks again everyone for tuning in. I hope that you'll consider coming back and checking out other videos on the channel, either now or in weeks ahead. But until then, stay safe, train smart, and keep running. Hey everyone, just checking back in after my run. Took the first battery in the chest strap for a run, and much more consistent results with what I was expected, consistent with what I was feeling, what I would expect my heart rate to be. Very steady, not sporadic, not jumping all over the place. So the little experiment worked. It's a go. Just want to let you know.